Hey guys, how's it going? It is the Lego Bro here. Welcome back to another video here on the channel. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Today we're going to be doing something very exciting. We are going to be reviewing Garmadon, the comic book series part 1. Also, by the way, I've already attempted this video once and it didn't work out the best. I tried flipping through every single individual page, and honestly, I don't think it worked because I just used audio straight from the recording. And let's just say it was very loud in the background. I don't know if it was the fish tank pump or my brother. Now!
No! Stop! No!
So basically how I'm going to review this comic book is I took pictures of every single individual page so I can just put them up on the screen, and then I can do an overlay on top so it sounds, I guess, better and not so crazy. And then once I'm done with the review, I'm just going to give my final thoughts and rate it out of 10. So let's get started. Alright, so here we are with the cover of the comic book. There's 10 different variants you can choose from. I'll put them up on the screen right now. But I chose this one because I just really love the Great Devourer, and Season 1 is such a good season, and just seeing Garmadon with the Great Devourer again is just so awesome, so I decided to choose this cover variant. The next page isn't really too important. It's kind of just, you know, credits to whoever made the comic book. It was Garmadon Comics if you are curious, but yeah, it's not really anything too important. The next couple pages is definitely where it starts to get interesting. Basically, the comic book starts off with recapping Garmadon's whole life. So it shows him with Misako when they're young adults, having Lloyd as a baby. And then it basically shows him get bit by the Great Devourer. It shows him as Sensei Garmadon with the ninja in Season 4 Tournament of Elements. Along with all of that, it also does show him banished in the Cursed Realm in Season 5 when Lloyd went to visit him. And then it shows the Sons of Garmadon, specifically Harumi, resurrecting Garmadon from the dead. And honestly, in this show, it was a super cool part, so I'm really glad they put it in here. And then it shows how Garmadon created the Tornado of Creation with the ninja in March of the Oni. And basically how after that he kind of left and we haven't seen him for a while. So then I'm pretty sure the comic book picks off probably around right after Season 10. So maybe a couple weeks or months after, I'm assuming. The next couple of pages are basically about Garmadon having a bad dream. The nightmare is basically Garmadon fighting an even eviler version of himself. So you know how evil Garmadon is, right? This is basically like the Season 8 Sons of Garmadon version of him, except he's even more evil. He's just pure evil, and he also has one of those like stone warrior helmets on, so he looks pretty dope. After that, we see Garmadon wake up from his dream, and we can actually see that he is in fact homeless. He doesn't have a home to live in, so he's just sleeping outside. And then on the next page, we get the title screen that says Garmadon Chapter 1, Two Moon Village. And I thought that there was going to be multiple chapters in every single comic book, but there actually isn't. It's just one chapter per comic, so this comic book is Chapter 1, the next is Chapter 2, Chapter 3, and so on. Next couple pages, we see Garmadon striving to survive, doing normal things like hunting, fishing, cooking food, stuff like that, because he doesn't have a home like I already said, so he needs to work his butt off so he can actually live and not go hungry and actually survive. Garmadon ends up hearing this sound, and he hears the sound of a roar, and it turns out to be a bear. We find out that the bear is attacking this mother and daughter. Originally, I thought that it was two young kids because they looked about the same age, but I guess I was wrong. I guess one of them is actually a mother and one of them is a daughter. The daughter's name is Min, and then the mom's name I don't think is ever spoken of. She just calls her mother. Before these people die, Garmadon steps in and he absolutely obliviates this bear. He bites him, he slashes him, he just does so much weird crap, but it happens to work. But while he's fighting this bear, he realizes that his purple energy is fading. After the fight, the mom's leg is in really rough shape and they ask Garmadon if he can bring them back to the village. At first he refuses, but later they offer him food and gratification, and he finally agrees to yes. At the village, we see these villagers making a type of potion that heals you, so if you're sick, you're healthy again. For Garmadon's case, if your powers are fading, your powers come back even stronger. We see some villagers argue about stuff about the potion. It's not really important at all. If you get one, you can read it, or you can just pause the screen and read it. But I'm not going to talk about it at all because it's really not important. So the three of them enter back into the village, and I guess I was wrong. It actually does say the mother's name, Her name is either Sakeo or Sakio or something. I'm just going to say Sakio for the purpose of this video. So the three of them come back with these lilies, and I'm pretty sure that's what the two of them were getting when they went into the forest. I'm pretty sure these lilies make some kind of potion, and the potion gives you strength like I already talked about. So I'm guessing they're doing a deal with someone, like they're giving them the potion and they're giving them food or something. Because if they're making so much of it, mass producing it, it must be really important. So a cup of this potion is poured into a teacup, and Sakio drinks a cup of it, and instantly she is just healed. Her leg is fixed and she is healthy once again. After Sakio finishes her cup, Garmadon drinks a cup of this, and his powers come back. He just blasts these people's wall down, and honestly, I kind of feel bad for the villagers. They probably have spent a lot of time making that wall. They could have been working on that wall for days, weeks, months, honestly, even years. Like, you never know how slow they are and how much time and effort they put into that wall. And for Garmadon just to blow it up like that kind of just breaks my heart. The next part gives a lot of context, and honestly, I think the first time I read this, I wasn't paying very much attention because I just talked about how they probably need to mass produce it so that they can just, you know, get money or food or stuff from it. And right here it says that they need to mass produce it because it gives them a lot of money to build roads and, you know, fix that wall Garmadon put a hole in. But the problem is that these lilies, like this tea, can only be harvested on a full moon. So there's a very rare chance for that to happen frequently. So basically, they're kind of screwed if they don't produce enough of it. And to make matters even worse, the bears hate this stuff being harvested. That is their land, that is their territory. They don't want people coming in and taking their stuff. So it makes it extremely hard to harvest this stuff. The villagers explain to Garmadon that if you're human, it heals you. But if you're an Oni or a ghost like Maro or a Jinn like Nauticon, it strengthens your powers even more. So basically, the villagers ask Garmadon, why don't you take care of the big powerful bear named Kuma? If you take care of him, we will give you this entire wagon of moon tea. And Garmadon was honestly, I'm pretty sure he was thinking, this is amazing, I'm going to be so powerful. And one of the villagers says, are you kidding? This is a terrible idea. The Red Crows are going to come after us. They are not going to approve of this. And basically, the Red Crows are the villain of the comic book franchise. I'm guessing we see them again at the end in a couple pages. By the end of the video, we'll see them. So yeah, the Red Crows are the villains, and I'm guessing they are probably doing a deal with the Red Crows. I'm not exactly sure what the deal is, but that's definitely where the deal is coming from. Garmadon agrees, and he drinks one whole entire barrel of this stuff. And then you see him insanely overpowered at the end where he says, Ninjago will be mine at last. And I'm not even going to try to impersonate that because I'm just trash at Garmadon, but yeah. The comic book ends off with the returning character named Ultraviolet coming back. She opens up this big metal door and goes into this kind of lair thing. And we get introduced to another new character who is called Lord Magra. He is basically the leader of the Red Crows. I'm guessing he's going to be the main villain for this comic book series. And she basically says to him that Lord Garmadon has returned, and he says, is that a problem? And then he stands up and he says, the Red Crows shall fly forever. And that is all. That wraps up the first Garmadon comic book. So overall, the comic book was decent. It was good enough that I'll keep buying the rest of the issues and keep reading it. But it wasn't at that point where I was like, wow, this is like as good as the show. And honestly, I just think it comes down to the length of the comic book because overall it was pretty short. I'm pretty sure that this comic book took me about 10-15-ish minutes to read, but you also have to put into consideration that there's a lot of things I missed when I did my review, like the characters' names and some storyline stuff. So maybe if I took 20-25 minutes on it, I would have understood a lot of the stuff better. But I think overall my favorite part probably has to be that recap in the first 2 pages. The artwork was amazing, and it was just awesome seeing all those things that we see in the show and animation onto paper. So overall, I think I'm going to give this comic book a 7.5 out of 10. It's good, but it could be better. Alright, so that is going to wrap up this video. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure to give it a like and subscribe. Share your thoughts on this video in the comments down below. And I will see you guys on the next one. Peace out.